Welcome students, 12th standard, chapter 13, other useful free tools and services, a chapter with many known topics, very easy topics and many different topics. So chapter 13 is about different free tools available online which we can use and different services which we can use. So let us begin with chapter 13. The very first thing which you actually know is about the topic computer files. You know that modern computers like your computer, my computer, today's everybody's computer has lakhs of files on them. There are hundreds and thousands of files on them. And many times we need to transfer a large number of files to other devices, either maybe through pen drive, maybe through email or any other resource, which takes a lot of time and it also occupies a lot of storage space. Computer networks and external storage devices, that is pen drives, and computer network, that is either local network or internet, are usually not as fast as internal components of a computer. So if you are copying something from your C drive, hard drive to other drive, that is D drive, in the same computer, then it is very fast. If you copy something from C drive to D drive in the same hard drive in the same computer, that copy paste process is very fast. But when you do it on a network computer or on an external storage device like pen drive or any other device, it is not as fast compared to internal components. Considering this issue, there is a need to reduce the amount of storage space occupied by different computer files. So to keep this thing in mind and to reduce the time taken for copying a file or transferring any data from one device to another device, there was a great need to reduce the storage space which is occupied by these files. Computer scientists have developed a techniques to place a whole directory structure into a single file for convenience, and such file is called an archive. So an archive is nothing but a folder where you have many other files and folders and many things are kept together, so that you don't need to refer those files separately. You just refer one archive, that is one folder or one file or one directory structure, and that will have everything inside. Data compression. The word is very familiar to all of you because you have been using data compression like WinZip and all these things. So let us understand. Computer scientists have also developed a number of techniques for reducing the storage requirements of a computer files and directory structure. So they have developed a technique which can reduce the storage requirements of computer files or the entire directory structure. And these techniques are called data compression. So we can compress the data using data compression, in which without losing anything, but we compress the data. So the size is reduced. And because size is reduced, it gets transferred from one device to another device very fast. Data compression generally works by identifying repetition in the data and then encoding the data in a way that reduces or either eliminates such repetition. So it just identifies the repetition of the data, what data are being repeated, and then it creates a formula to either remember that repetition or it reduces it by eliminating such repetitions of the data. But remember, data compression is only possible if there is repeating data. Some techniques also identify and eliminate less important information to conserve space. Let me inform you one thing about this. The last topic is your Facebook photograph upload. When you are uploading your photograph, which you might have taken using your HD camera, which may be of 1 or 2 MB, but when you upload this photograph on Facebook, what Facebook does is it will reduce that photograph to a less or smaller size. So when you download the same photograph from Facebook, you will not get the same quality which you uploaded, because Facebook has reduced it by eliminating less important information from that. So it conserves space. So that is data compression. Archive Manager. Archive Manager permits us to combine many files or an entire directory structure into a single file known as an archive. We already discussed this. Archive is nothing but a directory structure where there are so many files kept together. On Linux systems, because textbook discusses about Linux operating system, so in Linux systems, tar, that is tape archive, is the most common archive format. It also provides the facility of compressing the archive to reduce its file size. tar supports multiple compression algorithms. See, different file format has got different algorithm to compress the file. We don't know that what particular software, for example WinZip, is doing in your for your files to compress the file, but we can assume that it might be doing something like this, where repeating data are reduced and then file size is also reduced. So tar supports multiple compression algorithm and many different compressed file format. So that is the advantage of using tar file, that tar supports many different algorithms for compressing file, and it also supports many different compressed file format. The most common compressed file format for tar are .zip and .tar.gz. .zip is very popular on Windows environment also, whereas .tar.gz is specially for Linux environment. On Linux and Unix system, this operating system, the common practice is to combine the files into a single uncompressed file in the tar format and then compress it in the zip format using gzip utility. Again, remember, this gzip is actually Linux command to compress the file, and gunzip is a Linux command to uncompress the file. So that gzip utility is used on Linux and Unix platform to compress file. Such a file commonly has the extension .tar.gz. So by default, the extension of this Linux compressed file, which you compress using gzip command, will be .tar.gz. Observe that Linux allows multiple dots in the file extension, and then it is in common, it is known as tarball. The tarball is a very common file format for distributing software or bundles of files on Linux environment. The jar file, on the other hand, the jar files in Java and the OpenOffice file formats use zip compression. Now, why they use zip compression? Because zip is common for Linux as well as for Windows. Linux understands zip format also. Linux understands .tar.gz format also. But Windows understands only zip compression format. So it is very popular over this. Archive Manager uses the extension part of the file name to identify the file format when opening an archive. So Archive Manager, from the file format, that is mostly the extension part, it will understand that how this file has to be opened, how it has to be uncompressed. So that is file format when opening an archive, and then to select the file format when creating a new archive. So for opening archive and for creating archive, the extension part is the most important part. Uses of Archive Manager. Archive Manager can be used to explore the contents of archives, to extract files from archives, add new files to archive, delete files from archive, and perform other such operations. So you can explore the content of archive. You can see that what are the different files which are kept in the archives. You can extract files from the archive so that you can unzip it and use it. You can add new files into archive, and then you can remove the files from the archive. It is same as we do in Windows Zip Manager. In Ubuntu, that is Linux version Ubuntu, there is no menu item to start the Archive Manager. So by default in Ubuntu, you will not get any menu item which will start Archive Manager. A new archive can be created by right-clicking a file or directory structure and then selecting the option compress. So, like again, if you observe this, it's like Windows only. In Windows also we don't find any menu item for WinZip. But if WinZip is installed in your computer, then you can right click on any file or folder and then you can select zip. So that is same way in Linux also, in Ubuntu Linux also you can do. Over there you have to right click and select the option compress. We can add archive manager to accessories a sub menu of application menu of Ubuntu. So it is possible if you want to add this compression utilities, that is archive manager's icon or option in a menu bar of Linux Ubuntu, you can do it using, and you can add it into the application menu, which is the submenu in accessories menu. For this, what you can do? So for this, you right click the Ubuntu icon in the upper left corner. If you have Ubuntu installed in your computer, then on upper left corner you will have Ubuntu icon. Select edit menu and then click on the accessories in the dialog box that opens, and then select the checkbox for archive manager and then close the dialog box. So then you will get this archive manager option in the application menu of accessories submenu. Let us see one example where you can understand that how compression is being done. Very simple example. We'll start Notepad. And now in this Notepad file, I am just typing A to Z. Fine. Enter. So I have just typed A to Z. There is no character which is being repeated in this file. Let me close this file and save this file on desktop. Let me save this with a file demo. Click OK. So here we have this demo file. If you look at this demo file, the size of the demo file is 28 bytes. Remember, the size is 28 bytes. Now let me compress this file. So I right click on it and then say add to archive. Click OK. So archive is created. Now as we assume that compressed file would be smaller than the original file, or at least it should be same but not bigger than the original file, because it is compressed file. But if you see this file, it is 100 bytes. The compressed file size is 100 bytes, whereas the original file size is 28 bytes. The reason, because there is nothing repeating. As I told you, that compression is only possible if there is some repeating data. Now let us modify this file and let us copy this A to Z in the same file for many times, some 15-20 times, and then let us save this file. Now check this size of the file. It is refresh, and then let us check the size. File size is 364 bytes. Let me delete this old compressed file and then right click on this and then add to archive and OK. Now if you see these two files, the original file with A to Z copied many times, the size is 364 bytes and the compressed file is 112 bytes. So file is actually compressed, size is reduced. And what you understood from this is that if the file contains some repeating data, then only compression is possible. If there is nothing being repeating in your file, then there is no compression possible. So moving over to next topic, VLC media player. You know it very well. Sometimes you might be knowing it much more than what we know, because young generation uses VLC media player almost every day. So VLC, the original short form of VLC is Video LAN Client, is a media player which was started as an academic project by some music lovers students at a university in Paris. So remember, as a student you can take some sort of positive from this, that some students of university in Paris, they started this as a project of their curriculum, and then slowly they developed one of the most popular media player, and that is VLC. There are varieties of conversion of multimedia information coming from hardware devices into computer data, and then computer data being converted into hardware output, that is called coding and decoding. So for example, I am recording this lecture, so my analog voice is being converted into digital form, that is called coding. When you view this video, the digital form of my video is getting converted into analog form, so that is called decoding. So this coding and decoding is required, and for that there is a special software which converts this thing or does this conversion, and that is, in short, it is called codec. That is the short form for coding and decoding. So such software which performing the operation of coding and decoding is called codec. And for different player, the codecs will be different. For different file formats, the codec will be different. For MP3 file, codec would be different. For AVI file, codec will be different. WMA file, codec will be different. So each multimedia data format requires its own codec. The advantage of VLC is that it supports all the popular codecs and hence all the popular multimedia file formats. Most of the multimedia file formats are supported by VLC media player, and that makes VLC media player one of the most popular media player because it supports all the different codecs. Working with VLC media player. After opening VLC, now how you open VLC media player? In Windows, we have that shortcut on desktop and we double click on that VLC media player icon. But if you are in Linux, Ubuntu Linux, then you can open VLC from application menu, go to applications menu. Within that applications menu, there is a sub menu called sound and video menu. We may open one or more files using media open files menu item. So once you open VLC media player from this menu, sound and video menu, then from VLC media player software, you go to media menu, and in that we have open file menu. We may open entire directory. If you have some many audio or video files kept in one directory and you want to play all those video files or audio files one by one without your interruption, then you can open the entire directory using media open directory option. Now when you open one or more files using VLC media player, they are added to the playlist. So it creates a playlist, and then slowly one after another it will keep on playing all those media files. The playlist again can be saved using media save playlist to file. This option is very important because sometimes it may happen we create our own playlist. I have some 10 or 15 different folders where different songs are there. But I select few from one folder, few from another folder, few from again another folder, and that is how I have selected some songs which I like. Now this arrangement of the songs from different folders I quite often used to play. So for that, every time I don't need to go to different folders and select those my favorite songs, but rather once I do that, I can save that playlist so that next time I can open that playlist and easily play those random files in a sequence. So that can be used and can be this playlist then further can be opened using view playlist option. We can use VLC media player to convert media files. Remember, we are not using much VLC media for converting media files. Actually, you also might be using different applications, other applications for converting file from, let's say, from AVI to MP3, or from video format to MP3 format, or from Windows media application format, Windows audio file into MP4 file format. You might be using Format Factory or other software. But VLC also supports conversion of media files from one format to another. And for this, you have to select Media Convert Save option. So that's it about VLC media player. the things which you already knew. The next topic again is something which is very popular among youngsters and you know it very well, and that is about Google Maps. Google Maps is a free internet based service provided by Google Incorporation. So it's a free service and it is provided by Google company. Google has collected extensive map data for the whole earth through various means. See, before starting Google Map service, Google has put a lot of effort for collecting each and every corner of the world. The details about each and every road, houses, streets, everything. They have collected the extensive map data of the whole earth, entire earth. And how they collected? They collected it through various means like satellite imagery, cars with cameras mounted on them, data purchased from different organizations, and data provided by millions of individual users like us. So they took some satellites photographs. Then they used some cars with mounted camera on them, and that is how they recorded all the areas. They also purchased data from local organizations who might be having their local data with them, and also data provided by the users like us. So that is how Google has collected extensive map data. Google Map allows user to upload photographs of the place and post reviews of the place. You might be doing this if you go to a particular place and you want to post some reviews about that place, some photographs about that place. You can do it using Google Map. The service, that is Google Map service, can be accessed from the web browser and mobile phones as well. But you know that most of us are using Google services using mobile phone. So that is through Google Map application installed in our mobile phone, and through that we can use Google Map services. While using Google Map services through a mobile phone, the user's location can be known with very high accuracy, and if the mobile phone's GPS facility is kept on. You know it very well. Now very high accuracy, remember. Very high accuracy is almost, it shows you the exact location. You might have used the food chain applications like Swiggy and Zomato where you can trace that where the delivery person is right now. When he will be reaching, you can see the live location. Even you can see the live location of flight. So that has made things very simple, and for us it become very helpful. This system finds a user's location with an estimated error of only few meters. Now remember this, only few meters. These words are written before 9-10 years. Nowadays, Google Map provides you the location which is exactly or almost exact with hardly few feet of correction. Okay, many satellites are being used to trace the location of your mobile phone. So where exactly you are. Minimum 3 satellites, remember, minimum 3 satellites are used to find the location where you are, and that method is called triangulation. So Google Maps can show the information of a place in different forms, like there is a satellite view, map view, and like that. And map view is the default view. So for board exam, you need to remember this, that which of the following view is a default view for GPS or Google Maps, then map view. Google Maps also provides the facility of getting directions on how to reach from place A to place B. I don't need to say anything about this. You know it very well that how Google provides. Using Google Map, you can find particular location and you can travel easily from one location to another unknown location. The different uses of Google Map services. There are many uses. Some of the uses are exactly shown here in the textbook. To search for a place and find its exact location. The most of the time we are using Google Map for this purpose. Then government organizations and businesses, they use the service to provide people information on how to reach their office. So they provide this information that how you can reach to a particular office, government office or any business house. Provides facility to display a map of any place on one's website. This is again something very interesting. If I am developing my company's website and on that website I want to display the location of my website, so rather than writing address, if I put Google Map screenshot, that becomes very easy for anybody to look for the location of my office. So that is again one of the best service provided by Google Map. Tourist information websites and tourism department also make use of the Google Map service. Now for tourism or the travel agent, Google Map is like a boon, एक आशीर्वाद रूप छे, because for them it becomes very easy to explore the different locations, different tourist spot, and then even to show them to their customer. So tourist information website are some using this Google Map services extensively. Google Map is also used to display bus routes, current location of running trains, current location of flying flights, and etc. It also provides facility of finding the nearest ATM center, bank, restaurant, bus stop, or any other such essential place. This is again something very interesting. For example, we are away from our hometown. We are far away from our hometown, and where we are, over there we need some medicine. Now we don't know that where the medical store is. If you keep your Google Map service on and if you find out or search for medical store nearby, then you can easily find out. And not only medical store, as here it is mentioned, you can find ATMs, banks, restaurant, bus stop, hospitals, and other things very easily using Google Map. The next is character map. What is character map? In short, character map is used for inserting special characters in your document. So the character map program can be used to enter Unicode characters into any program. Now when it says Unicode character, if you remember chapter 7 also we discussed this. Unicode character means it is using minimum 16 bits to represent the character. And because it would be using minimum 16 bit Unicode, minimum I am using the word minimum, that is 2 raised to 16. That is, it can represent more than 65,000 characters, different characters. And we can insert these different characters which are not on the keyboard in our document or whatever we are typing easily using character map. The left side of the character map allows to select the script, which script you want to insert. Because there are many different scripts. You might be using Gujarati script or other Latin script or any other script for inserting different characters. Then you can use the left hand side of character map to select the script. Then brief details of the character which you have currently selected with a single click or which you have entered with double click are shown in the status line at the bottom. So at the bottom of the character map we have a status line which shows the brief detailing about that character which you either have selected or entered. More details about the character is available in the character details tab. If you want to know about something more about that particular character, you can go to the character details tab. Character map is a good solution if you only have to type a few characters in another script occasionally. Remember this, if you want to type entire paragraph or entire document in Gujarati, then you cannot use character, or rather you should not use character map, because using character map it will take hours for you to type the entire document in different language. It is only when you want to insert few characters which are not available on keyboard and you want to insert through character map, then character map is useful for inserting few characters. But the entire document cannot be prepared using character map. For that you need to go for changing the language option or the typing, that is input keyboard option, you need to change. So character map, let us see the screen of character map of Ubuntu. The character map of Windows is also almost the same like this, and you can see that also. The next topic is a very unique software, not very popular software, and the software name is R software. Now what is R software and how we can use it and how it is useful? It is a statistical analysis software, remember. So R is a free software environment for statistical computing. So when you want to do some statistical computing, you can use R software. But we don't use R software much because we use Excel extensively. And almost everything what we can do, basic things, what we can do in R software can be very easily done in Excel. R has its own scripting language and we can use those scripting language for programming. R is a case sensitive language. So our commands are case sensitive. Those commands written in whichever case, uppercase or lowercase, has to be written the same way. We can't change that. R has two work environments, namely command line interface, that is CLI environment, and GUI interface, that is graphical user interface. To use R in GUI, that is in graphical user interface, we need to install R graphics editor like R Commander or R Studio. Either we install R Commander or we install R Studio if you want to use the GUI of R software. To invoke the R scripts from the terminal window, open terminal and type R on the command prompt. Now this is about Linux. In Linux terminal window, if you want to start R software, then what you do is, if you installed R, then you just type R on the command prompt and you will get a welcome message along with R prompt. So that is how we begin with R software, but remember it's a statistical computing software. The basics of R. Now before we see the screen of R software, let us see the basics of R. Hash is the comment marker. So if you want to write a comment in R software, we use the symbol hash. Now remember, we come across many different types of comments in different software. Right from HTML to now, last is R software. So let me just highlight all those comments so that you can remember it, that how comments are written in different software. As you can see here, in HTML you can write comment within exclamation dash dash and dash dash. In JavaScript you can write comment between slash star and star slash. In Java language you can write three different types of comment: single line comment, multi-line comment, and API comment, which can be written using double slash, slash star star slash, and slash double star star slash respectively. So in LaTeX you can write comment using percentage sign. And now this finally R software, where you can write comment using hash symbol. So remember this. Number and string are basic data types. So the data types which in R available, they fall in only two categories, and that is number and string. Strings may be enclosed within single or double inverted comma. So it's up to you that you want to write string within single inverted comma or within double inverted comma. Ordered lists of items are commonly used and are also referred to as vectors. So ordered list items are referred to as vectors. Lists are created using the function C. This is function C, and this, because it is function, it is followed by open and close bracket. When both operands of binary operators are list, their length should be same. Maths students, science students would be knowing this, that when you are using two vectors, both should have same length. So when both operands of binary operators are list, so when you are using list, then if you are using two lists for any calculation, then the number of items in both the list should be same. That is, the length should be same. Entering the name of a variable and pressing enter displays its value. So let us see the screen of R software. This is the screen of R software. Let me maximize it. This is R prompt, where you see this greater than sign is R prompt. And now let us write some command here which are of R software. R software, the first command is help command. Let us learn help, followed by open and close bracket. It starts like this. It is the basic help available with the R software. Let me close this now. There is another thing, and that is help.start, which will start help in browser window. But for that, to work with this, you need internet connection. So that is help.start. Then we have demo command, which shows you the demo of R software. So this is how it shows. Then you can go further and see the demo, but because again internet connection is not here right now. So we closed R software right now. So that was the basic of R software, the screen. You saw the screen, it is very simple screen, no graphics, nothing, and just you need to type all the commands. Let us move further and again we'll come back to R software screen. Symbol greater than now, as you saw, that indicates prompt of R. So R prompt, so whatever we type will be typed over there. So that is called R prompt. Then less than and minus sign together, here as you see, less than and minus sign is called assignment. It is like equal sign. So if you write A less than minus 10, that means you are assigning 10 to variable A. So it defines variable A and assigns value 10 to it. Q function is used to quit R software. So if you want to quit from R software, either you can click on the close button as we did right now just before this, or you can write the function Q. Help is for accessing the online help. Demo to view some demonstrations. Help.start to open online help in browser. Help, and if you write some function name, like if you don't know what Q function is doing, then you can write help and into bracket you can write Q function to get help on that particular function. ls displays a list of all the variables. Now let us see again all this function in our screen, and then again we'll continue learning R software. So this is again R software. As you can see, this greater than sign symbol, that is called prompt of the R, and here we can give the command. Now let us create some variable. For example, A less than minus is equal to 15. Enter. So I created variable A. Similarly, I say B less than minus is equal to 29. Again, that variable is created. Now if I see ls open close bracket, it will give me a list of the variables which I have defined. As you can see, it shows A and B. Similarly, if I just type A and enter, it will give me the value stored in variable A, and B and enter shows me the value stored in B. So this is how we can create variables. As you can read here, Q is to quit R. So if you want to quit from R software, you can use Q. But right now I am not doing. Even you can use the close button of, so close the R software. Moving over to next commands. A series of consecutive numbers, that is the range of values, may be generated using the syntax start colon end. That is example, for example 1 colon 5. That is same as writing 1 2 3 4 5. So let us see that also, and then next also we'll see that R also provides basic statistical in quite straightforward forms. If you create a list of values like this, list, this is the name of variable, less than minus, that is assignment, then function C, and then list of values. We'll create a list variable with 10 values, this 10 values. The best part is, then using this variable name, that is list, you can work with all these 10 values together. You can find minimum of list, maximum of list, median of list, mean of list, all can be found easily. So let us see this also. Okay, let me create one list variable, list1. List1 is equal to C into bracket 1 colon 10. So I am using colon sign. That means range of values. So then now what is stored in, so if I say list 1, it will show me all the numbers 1 to 10. So that is how you can specify range of values. If you want to specify different values, you can create like this: list 2 is equal to, that is assignment, less than minus C into bracket 34, 76, some numbers, let's say only 5 numbers I'm giving, and enter. If you say list 2, you will get those 5 numbers values stored in it. Now if you want to find maximum of that, we write max into bracket list 2, that is 99. If you want to find minimum of all those, list 2, minimum or the lowest value is 26. Similarly, median of list 1, let's say, so it is 5.5, and mode of list 2, no answer, because there is nothing repeating. It should be a numeric number, but mode will give you the highest repeating number. So right now we don't have any number like that, so it gives like this. So that is how you can use this statistical functions if you created a range of values or list you have created like this using the function C. The function C is used to create a list of values. If you want to create a list with some different values, random values, you need to write those values. If you want to create a list for a range of values, you can use the colon sign, and by specifying starting number and ending number. So that is this. Plotting in R. Now the process to plot a bar chart representing faculty-wise students in a university, the example given in the textbook. So if you want to prepare a bar chart, you need to provide lot of information, and that also there should not be a single mistake for that. If there is a single mistake, the chart will not come. And even the chart which comes is not so interesting as we used to get chart in Excel. In Excel, we can prepare bar chart with no effort, rather very easily we can prepare bar chart, because it is graphical user environment. We just select the values and prepare chart. But here in R, it takes a lot of trouble. For example, first we create a list of values for number of students. C to create list of values. Assignment, this is assignment, and then C function, and all these 6 values. Then faculty names is equal to this: medical, engineering, science, commerce, arts, and law. And now we write the command bar plot number of students, comma main. Now you need to understand all this. What is this? The main is the title of the chart. Xlab, Ylab is the label for x-axis and y-axis. Names.arg is the name which you want to display on x-axis. That is this: medical, engineering, science, etc. While lim is for specifying the range of y-axis, that is from 0 to 1000. It should be colon here, but textbook there is a mistake, so I just wrote here comma. It should be colon because we are specifying range. And border to specify the border color. So read this paragraph, last paragraph, which I explained. The same thing is written here. Here number of students, that is number of students, specifies the data list, that is this data list. Main is the graph title. Xlab is x-axis label, Ylab is y-axis label. Names.arg is the values to be displayed for the bars, individual bars, what values you want to display. Ylim is values to be plotted on y-axis, and finally border is the color for the graph border. And finally you will get this kind of graph. As you can see, this is the main, that is the title of the graph. Faculty is Xlab, number of students is Ylab, names.arg is medical, engineering, science, commerce, arts, law, and then all these values are plotted. Range of y-axis is from 0 to 1000, and the border color, if you see, is thin blue color border. So this is the final graph, but you must be knowing that much more better graph can be easily prepared in Microsoft Excel, which we are very much familiar with. But anyway, because it is given in textbook, we are supposed to discuss this program or the software, that is R software. Next is rational plan software. Again, this is a new software, but this is very useful software. The only thing is, textbook has not given a single screenshot of rational plan software. So we'll just discuss it theoretically. Rational Plan is an open source software designed to assist project managers in preparing, maintaining, and following a well-defined project plan. So it is for the management purpose. Those who are dealing with different projects and the project manager wants to use a software which can help project manager in its project can use Rational Plan. Rational Plan assists project manager throughout the life cycle of their projects. Rational Plan comprises 3 different desktop products. So there are 3 different versions of Rational Plan. They are Rational Plan Single, Rational Plan Multi, and Rational Plan Viewer. Before we go in detail of all these 3, let me just in one sentence explain you. Rational Plan Single is used to manage one project at a time. Rational Plan Single can manage multiple projects which are interlinked at a time. And Rational Plan Viewer is like PDF viewer. You might have prepared a plan in different software other than Rational Plan or even in Rational Plan or any other software. But you just want to view that project or plan. You can use Rational Plan Viewer. So Rational Plan Viewer can be used to view project prepared in other software or in the Rational Plan using Rational Plan software. It's like you might have prepared a PDF file using Microsoft Word or using Microsoft Excel, but you can view it in Acrobat Reader. Similarly, you might have prepared a project plan in different software, but if you want to just view that project plan, you can use a Rational Plan Viewer. Now let us see how it is explained in textbook. Rational Plan Single. Rational Plan Single allows to manage independent projects that do not have common resources and has no interrelation between different projects. So standalone project. It allows, that is Rational Plan Single allows the manager to associate general project information. Rational Plan Single provides project tracking tools such as critical path, mark completion value for task, work and cost time phased information. So all this which are related to any detailed project planning. We can generate a printable report as well as import data from other project management tool or even export our data into other formats. So that is again best part. If you have prepared something in Rational Plan and you want to export it to other software, you can do it, or if you want to import some data from other project, you can do that very easily. Rational Plan Multi. Rational Plan Multi allows to manage projects that share company resources across different projects. So as I said, interrelated projects. One company's multiple projects which are interrelated that can be managed using Rational Plan Multi. Rational Plan Multi also manages independencies between projects. So those 4, 5 or 6 projects which are using multi, that is Rational Plan Multi, all those 5 or 6 projects also can be managed independently also, and they will have their independencies, but again they will be sharing some information also. Rational Plan Multi calculates resources data considering their assignments in all projects. Rational Plan Multi allows links between tasks pertaining to different projects, analyzes all our projects data, and then finally creates a project portfolio view. So that how a project manager gets benefit from Rational Plan software, that he can analyze different projects, can create a portfolio view and represent it during the meeting. The last one, that is Rational Plan Viewer. Rational Plan Viewer is an additional tool developed to share the projects in its original file format, that is XRP. Remember this extension, many a time board is asking this question. So the extension of the Rational Plan software or the project prepared using Rational Plan will be .xrp. Rational Plan Viewer can be used to open Microsoft project files. So even Microsoft has got the similar software like Rational Plan. The only difference is Rational Plan is free and open source software, whereas Microsoft software, which provides this kind of project management, is a paid software, proprietary software. But you can view the file prepared in Microsoft project file in using Rational Plan Viewer, but you cannot modify it. Remember, it is only viewer software, so you can view it as PDF viewer. We cannot edit it or modify it. Rational Plan Viewer is useful to anybody who needs to check and overview the project's evaluation without making any changes to the schedule and for resources to see their assignments. So as I say, it is only to view the project and understand it without making any changes in it. So that is about Rational Plan. The last topic of chapter 13 is Skype. You might be knowing about Skype because before couple of years, that is before 10-12 years, Skype was very popular for communicating over internet. But now after WhatsApp has become so popular and WhatsApp video calling becoming so popular, and after pandemic Zoom becoming so popular and user friendly, so now people are not using Skype. But otherwise, initially before 10-15 years, Skype was very popular for online chatting and video calling. So the Skype service allows user to communicate with peers using voices, videos as well as text. Skype also provides additional features like file transfer and video conferencing. So you can transfer some file, you can send some photographs, or you can have video talk or audio talk. The source code of Skype is proprietary. Remember, it is not an open source software. It is a free software, not open source. If it is open source software, we can get the Skype source code also free of cost, but it is not available. Skype is available free of cost to use, but its code is not available. So the source code of Skype is proprietary and not available for modification. To start Skype, again if you install in Linux environment, you can start Skype from going to application menu, and in that internet option, and then within internet option you will have Skype option. If you are opening it here it is it. If you are opening it for the first time, it will open an end user license agreement window, which will ask you that you agree with this and that, which happens in most of the software. So that is the Skype software. I hope chapter 13, almost all the topics you knew it very well, like GPS, character map, VLC media player, Skype. All these are the topics of chapter 13 which you know very well. Only topics which I need to explain were R software and Rational Plan. Thank you for viewing. Take care and stay safe.